Hey masters, today I want to talk about K6, alright? We're gonna take a look at this tool for load testing, right? And we're gonna see what is K6, the key features, use cases, and also what K6 doesn't, okay? Also, we're gonna take a look of how we can install it in our operating system, and also we're gonna take a very deep look in the running K6 example. They have here, an article where we can learn how to run a test, add virtual users, increase the test duration, and up the number of requests up and down as the test runs. All right, masters, let's take a look here in the documentation about some interesting stuff that I think that we may want to know. What is K6? It is an open source load testing tool. That's basically it, right? Using K6, you can test the reliability and performance of your system and catch performance regressions and problems earlier. All right, that's basically the idea. Also, K6 is developed by Grafana Labs and the community. All right, that's beautiful. Here we have some key features, and it is basically that we have a CLI tool, right, where we can use the developer-friendly APIs. Also, here we have a little bit about the scripting in JavaScript. ES6 is possible, right? And we can use local and remote modules. And also, we can check, or we can use a couple of features that they offer to us, and it is checks that is kind of assertions, right, and thresholds, all right, for goal-oriented, automation-friendly load testing. Okay. Here we have some use cases. We can use K6 for load testing, browser testing, using this particular tool, XK6 browser, right? Then we can use it for chaos and resilience testing, and at the end, performance and synthetic monitoring, all right? Here you can take a look at the load testing manifesto that they have based on, years of experiences, right? And also at the end, here we have a couple of points of what K6 doesn't. K6 doesn't run natively in a browser, right? That's so important to know. However, with the XK6 browser tool, you can interact with real browsers and collect front-end metrics as part of your K6 tests. All right, that's important. And also, K6 doesn't run in Node.js. To achieve maximum performance, the tool itself is written in Go. That's important, right? Embedding a JavaScript runtime allowing for the test scripting. So I just wanted to tell you that it's important to know these particular features and dozen features as well, right? to say this in a kind of a way we can understand. So, the next step is going to review the installation and then how to run the K6 scripts. All right, let's do it. The next step is the installation process, and then it's pretty easy. I want to explain you how you can achieve this in your operating system. Here in the official documentation, you can see how to achieve this using Linux, Fedora, CentOS. You can use it, or we can handle this in macOS using Homebrew. I'm gonna show you how you can do it in a few seconds. You can use Windows, you can use Docker, and also, they offer the K6 binary as well, right? And here we have also the K6 extensions, and also in case we need troubleshooting guide, they have a list of common installation issues here, right? And also offer us an official Slack channel, right? A community where we can ask questions and that kind of stuff, or we can report the issue in the community forum if you want to also take advantage of this possibility, right? So in my case, since I am using macOS, I just need to use this command, brew install K6, because I already have Homebrew installed in my computer. So it is just a matter of paste this particular command here in my computer, and in my case it is already installed. So this is the message that I'm receiving. K6, the version, obviously in your case probably is going to be a newer version, but it is already installed and up to date in my computer, right? It is giving me a hint if in case I want to reinstall it. In my case, I don't want to, and if I want to make sure that this is working, I can run the command K6-v, right? And here we have all the information that I can, or all the commands that I can use here, right? The flags and so on. So that's it, guys. I hope that you see it, pretty easy to install. And let's take a look of how we can run the scripts and the basics, right, about K6 in the next part of the video. Let's do it. All right, masters, let's start with our first script using K6, okay? In their official documentation here, you can access the same examples that I'll be doing. However, in my script, you can see a lot of comments because I have done a lot of research about every single line that they are trying to explain in their documentation, and there are some details that you may want to know. Okay, so if you want to have the same comments that I have here, you just have to access my K6 demo GitHub repository, right? And you're gonna have all the details in the introduction.js script. Okay, you are gonna have access to the same stuff that I'll be explaining to you. And also, if you want to have the same colors that I have here, you just have to use the better comments extension that I have over here. So I just wanted to tell you that, right? Okay, so the objective today is going to run a test. I want to explain you how you can add virtual users in the second part of this video, how you can increase the test duration, and how you can ramp the number of requests up and down as the test runs. In the very first part of this demo, okay, I want to explain you this documentation, how you can create a script script.js, and how you can run it. And I want to explain you every single line of code that we're gonna be doing. Okay, so as you can see, I need to create a JS file named script. In my case, I am a little bit rebel. I'm kidding. And I created an introduction.js file. Okay, and inside of this, you can see that I did basically the same stuff that the documentation is suggesting me. I'm importing the HTTP module from K6/HTTP. You can see this over here. And also, you can see that I'm importing the sleep function from K6. I'm going to explain you in a few seconds what is the K6, the sleep function, all right? And also, in a few lines below, I just did the same stuff that K6 is suggesting, right? I'm creating a function, export default function over here, right? You can see it over here, and I'm just doing an HTTP GET request to this particular endpoint. Okay, that's beautiful. And also, I'm using the sleep command, but instead of having 1 second, I'm using a 10-second value. I'm gonna explain you why in a few seconds. All right, now the next step is that I need to run that particular script, and I'll be doing that. Okay, so I'm gonna run in the terminal the command K6 run, which is the main command for run any script. But instead of using the script.js, I need to use my script name, which is introduction, right? There it is, and it is working. But now it's time to understand what is going on inside of this execution. All right, you can see that it is running for 10 seconds. That's important. And at the end, it is gonna stop the process, and you can see that there was 1 request complete. That's beautiful. And why is this happening? It is because I'm using this sleep function using the value 10 seconds. And basically this sleep is going to suspend the VU execution for the specified duration. But what is a VU? Well, basically a VU is a virtual user. K6 works with the concept of virtual users, which run your test scripts. By default, we are emulating that we're going to use 1 simple virtual user, just like you or me, and it is going to stop or suspend the process for 10 seconds. And as soon as the 10 seconds is done, right, or is passed, it is going to send 1 particular request. Okay, by default, we are just sending 1 virtual user with this particular command that we have over here. You can change the sleep value to any value that you need. All right, that's important and beautiful. Okay, now I want to show you that here we have a note talking about how to run this script, right? And here you have more context. You can access the running K6 documentation to see what or all the options that you may have, okay? But you also can add duration to your execution. You can run the same script with 1 virtual user by default, but you now during or having a duration of 30 seconds, okay? So if you analyze this scenario, we should have 3 requests at the end of the execution because we're gonna have 10 seconds in the middle of every single or the full execution time, right? So I'm gonna do it so you can see what is going to happen. So I'm gonna just copy this command and I can just well, I can use the same one that I just made, right? Introduction, this one. But now I'm gonna be adding the flag dash dash duration and 30 seconds. All right, there it is. And you're gonna notice that now this kind of progress line is kind of larger, right? And also you're gonna notice that after 10 seconds is reached, now we have one complete request here. That's beautiful. And now it is waiting for the next 10 seconds, which means basically 20 seconds in our case, right? And you're gonna see the second request completed. And well, since it is during 30 seconds, right, it is gonna execute one more request over here. And at the end, we're gonna have 3 requests completed as I was expecting. So guys, as you can see, that's basically how it works, right? And it is important to tell you that we can use as well more than one virtual user like this, okay? So let me show you this. I can use the command at the beginning, dash dash, right, vuse, and I can run this with 2 users. So at the end, we're gonna have the same scenario, but now every single 10 seconds, we're gonna send a couple of requests to that particular endpoint. You're gonna notice that in a few seconds. There it is, 2. And now in the 20 seconds, when we reach that particular amount of time, you're gonna see 4 because it should have 4 completed requests and so on. So you can see now how the K6 well, logic works, right? We're just having a couple of virtual users because, well, in the documentation, they are using a lot of them. You can see that they are using 10, and duration of 30 seconds, in my perspective, was kind of hard to understand it. So I just wanted to give you this video to have another kind of guidance about this. But now we're gonna see how to configure more virtual users and durations, but configuring a constant options, okay? So let's do it. Let's see how it works. Alright, masters, if you remember the last part of this video, I was explaining you that you can change the amount of virtual users and duration by command line interface. But now let's imagine that you have the possibility of configure these options in your same script, and it is possible. Let me show you how we can do it. Okay, I just commented the function that I created before, right? And now I have the same function here, but with an extra configuration. As you can see, I have now an export const options, a new variable, and this variable has an object assigned, okay? This object has a couple of properties, virtual users, and it has the value of 10. Now, instead of configuring this for 2 virtual users, I'll be using 10, okay? It means that it is going to send 10 requests per every single 10 seconds. Do you agree? I hope so, because that's how it works. Now the duration is going to be the same, 30 seconds, but the amount of requests is the thing that you're going to see different, right? So let's do it. Let's see if this works correctly or not. So I'm going to delete from the command line interface the flags of virtual users and duration. And now if I run this, it should do the same stuff, right? You can see it. It is waiting for 10 seconds, and now it is using 10 virtual users over here, right? Because that's what I have configured in my options object. And you can see that it has sent 10 requests, and 10 of them are complete. That's beautiful. And after 20 seconds, we're gonna have 20 requests completed, right? That's beautiful, and that's how K6 works, right? So in the next part of this video, I want to explain you how you can ramp the number of virtual users up and down during the test. This is beautiful, and you're gonna be so excited to understand this new concept for you, right? Let's do it. Alright, masters, let's take a look of a game changer, because in the last part of the video, we saw how to configure virtual users and the duration, but it is kind of hard coded, because let's imagine that we want to have like different stages. Let's imagine that in the very first 40 seconds of the script execution, we want to have the maximum of 4 virtual users, but then we want to have another span time, right, where we can have the maximum of 10 users in the same execution. It is possible. Let me show you this. Let's imagine that we have now a constant named options, as we did before, right? Where we can configure the virtual users, the duration, and so on. But now we don't need to configure the duration, because the duration is going to be a sum of every single duration that we have here in the stages, okay? Because we have configured a stages array, and every single position of this array is going to be an object, and this object has duration and target. Okay, so as you can see, the duration is gonna have the same format that we saw before, seconds or minutes, and then the target is gonna be the max virtual users or the minimum virtual users that you want to have during that particular stage. So in this particular scenario, we're gonna have the first stage with 4 virtual users, but then we're gonna have the second stage with the maximum of 10, but then in the next 20 seconds we're gonna have 0. We're gonna decrease the number of users to 0, and that is gonna be an amazing thing to see. All right, that's beautiful. So let me show you as well this part of this function, where the only difference is that now we're gonna be declaring a constant named res or response, right? And it is going to have the response from the HTTP get method that we have been using before. This is the same one. Let me show you this, okay? But now we're going to use another endpoint that K6 is providing to us, and at the end you can see that we're going to have a new function here, which is the check. This check is something that I tried to explain at the beginning of this video. It is a function that we're importing from K6, all right? And we're just making sure that every single request that we have over here has the status 200, and we are just using this format to make sure that the status of every single response has the 200 number. If any of the requests doesn't have this response status, it is going to fail, and we're going to see this in the logs. So that's amazing. It is a kind of an assertion, as I told you before. Okay, and also in the sleep part, you can see that we're going to have the suspension time for every single virtual user of 10 seconds as well. Okay, so I guess that I try to explain everything in this script, and we can run it now, and I can try to explain you as well what is going to happen in the middle of the execution. Okay, so let me show you this. At the beginning, it is going to start with 1 virtual users. Okay, with 1 virtual user, I'm sorry. But now in the second stage of this, it is going to start increasing the virtual user number from 1 to 2, and every single 10 seconds in this particular case, it is going to start increasing the number of users until we reach the 4 target, right? And you can see this over here. Okay, let me show you this, that after 40 seconds, it is going to start increasing from 4 to 10 users. All right, that's beautiful. Now it is going to start increasing. That's beautiful. I hope that you're understanding this. I know it is kind of hard to explain it as well. I'm sorry if I'm not doing my best here, but I am trying. I'm really trying. Okay, there it is. Now we have 5 users, because now we are in this stage and we need to reach 10 virtual users. It is just a matter of seconds in time, right? Okay, let me just bear with me until this ends, because I want to show you how this 20 seconds target to 0 works as well. Okay, now we have 6 virtual users sending requests to that particular endpoint. Now we should have 8 in a few seconds. Okay, just bear with me. I know it's kind of boring, but yeah, it is beautiful when you see the final result, and you understand this concept of ramping the number of virtual users up and down. Okay, there it is. It is just a matter of seconds to reach the 10 virtual users, and as soon as we have that, we're gonna have in the last 20 seconds we're gonna decrease the number of virtual users, and you are gonna see that in a few seconds. Okay, there it is, 10 seconds. Now the decrease process starts. Right, there it is, 9. It should be 8 and 7 in a few seconds, then 6 and 5, right? And we should reach the 0 virtual users in the process in a few seconds. Okay, and that's how it works, guys. Yeah, that's beautiful. Now the next part of the video, now that you understand the basic logic of K6, I want to give you some resources to understand the metrics that we have here and to, well, interpret the results, right? Let's do it. Let's see how it works. All right, masters, now that we understood the basics of K6, right, because there is a whole world that we haven't explored yet, I recommend you that you can come here and see the documentation and all the options that you have. But in my case, I would like to make more videos. So please let me know in the comment section if you would like to see more examples, more integrations, more stuff, right? Because I would love to do it. So I just wanted to tell you that in my, well, here in my script, I have some articles for you. All right. So for instance, how to understand what are the results printed in the console. Here you have a full article where you can see all the details. Okay, let me show you this. It's beautiful. Basically, they have 4 types of metrics: counters, gauges. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. I'm sorry, guys. We have rates and we have trends. All right. So basically, every single well, kind of metric that they are that the tool is giving, right, or providing us. Here we have every single metric name, the type, and also the description, so you can understand every single result here. You can see more metrics like HTTP specific built-in metrics. We also, well, we can configure custom metrics over here, right? So it is just a matter of reading more and understand well, every single detail of this. If you want to, as I'm telling you, maybe we can take a look in the future videos that I'm planning to see more of this. Also, you're gonna have a couple of articles more to interpret the results. So maybe you can see this particular one, the first one. It is basically the next article after running K6, right? Over here. Here we have more, well, a little bit of context of how to interpret or yeah, see the results output, right? And also at the end, I want to provide you with another one. This is a beautiful one. It is from the K6 blog, right? They have a blog and you can access the blog as well, just getting rid of the name of the article like this, right? And you have a lot of blog posts that they are constantly doing, so I recommend you to do it as well. Once I have said this, I want to show you that in this article, the last one in my repository, right, in this script introduction, you can see that if we can see the trends, or yeah, this is basically a way to understand the load testing results in your graphs. So I don't want to, well, I don't want to go deeper in this because this could be a matter of other video, right? So, and of course that you can read it as well. So guys, thank you very much. I hope that you see or see that this video helped you, and let me know in the comment section what is your opinion about K6, about this video. Any feedback will be, well, very interesting to hear it. I'm not the super expert about K6, but I tried my best to explain this. So thank you guys, see you in the next one, and thank you very much for watching this video.